Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Carlisle United Career Mode save. This is episode number 10 and yes, it is the 7 game bumper episode coming your way today. There is a lot to go through in today's episode, and quickly, as you've seen earlier, just quick look through the training, and the lads are doing decent. Hopefully we get another goalkeeper in the nearest future through our academy. And speaking of academy, once again the scout that went off to South Korea, the one star scout, is not doing too great, so I am not going to be taking anyone, and that will be the end of his trip as part of Carlisle United's scouting setup, and most probably fire him and get someone new in just a second. And taking a quick look at our 3-star scout, Morgan Richardson, who's got a couple of decent players this time around, although I will be rejecting both of them. As you can see, the starting overall and also the potential is not that great, and we really don't have much time to get these players in at the moment and give them sufficient training and sufficient game time, because we are looking to cement our spot at the top of the league. And as promised, we will be relieving Max White of his duty as part of the scouting setup, and we will also be hiring a new scout, a 3-star 2-star scout, because that's sadly what our budget allows us to get. And I'm gonna get Oscar Hughes straight off to Asia again this time around, and I'll be sending him off to Japan. So hopefully Oscar Hughes comes back to us with some decent players, maybe some future Shinji Kagawa or a future Tomiyasu, who's recently doing ever so well for Arsenal in the league this season. But straight to our first game for today's episode. It is against Morecambe. As you would know, Morecambe, we defeated them earlier in the season. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 6-1 scoreline, and we started off the game pretty decently. There were a few chances very early on, and in about the 8th minute there was this beautiful cross from the right wing. If I'm not mistaken, it is O'Hare, and Kennedy finishes it first time with another volley. As you know, in the previous episode it was George Glendon who's got the Di Canio-esque volley, and this time around it's Kennedy who's getting his goal. And right after that there wasn't much going on until halftime. Just before halftime, this happened. At first I thought it was a dodgy call, a dodgy penalty, but as I looked at the replay I thought that it was a strong case for a penalty, and I gave the penalty to O'Hare, who subsequently misses the penalty. Once again, I will put my hands up and say that it's most probably my fault because I was thinking too much. But in the second half, once again more comical defending from yours truly, and this time around it got punished by Leach Smith, the guy that got the goal against us in the 6-1 win against Morecambe earlier in the season. Nothing much the keeper could do there. Well taken first time effort from Leach Smith, although he got lucky that the ball came back to him after it deflected off the defender. But that's how the game ended, and we seem to be struggling to put together wins once again. And I decided to change the starting lineup once again by putting in Tom Parks back into the defensive setup and removing Anthony Gerrard and putting him onto the reserves team as Anthony Gerrard is well over 30 years old, and Tom Parks is, if I'm not mistaken, 26. And we need younger players, as you guys would know that most of our senior squad players are really senior squad players. They are well over 30 years old, so Gerrard also has gone down in overall, so I thought it's a good time to reintroduce Tom Parks into the starting 11. But going back into the next game, it is the FA Cup fixture, the big one against Burnley, who are in 7th in the Premier League. They're doing quite well for themselves, but they are not doing too well in this game, as if he doesn't score, he assists. Yes, it's the man, Hallam Hope, getting an assist, a very very good cross from the left wing, and the Burnley defender Ben Mee couldn't do much about it, but put it into the back of his own net. And to be fair, if he didn't get to the ball, then Mark Cullen would probably volley that into the back of the net himself. 1-0, we'll take it, any kind of goal, we'll take it at the moment. And as we get into the second half, in the 60th minute, Burnley's defender Kevin Long couldn't keep up with Hallam Hope's magical feet, and he brought him down, which was a correct decision, but maybe he took a rough hit in the challenge, as Hallam Hope does miss from the spot kick right after that. I know I have been abysmal from the penalty spot of recent times, but it is against Nick Pope, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and we were made to pay for that miss, as Burnley do equalize in the 67th minute through Ashley Barnes with a wonderful weighted header. I didn't know that you could stay in the air for so long in the game, but Barnes has done that and given the equalizer to Burnley, and I thought at this point of time, that's it. We are heading out of the competition. That's the end of the road for us. But this team is full of surprises. All of them believe that they can win, and they have shown it once again, as I know maybe it's a stroke of luck, but Mark Cullen does get us the winner towards the end of the game. And again, yeah, it was quite lucky, as his first time effort deflects back onto his part and he smashes it into the top corner. No mistake from him from close range, as we win it in injury time. Man of the match, I'm giving it to Mark Cullen for a wonderful finish at the end of the game. Going into the next game, it is against Mansfield Town this time around, hoping that we can carry the win from the FA Cup against Burnley. It was a massive win, a massive boost of confidence, so I hoped that it would at least get us another win at home this time. And right from kickoff, once again, I tried my best to use the momentum to get ourselves in front, but it was a case of missing the mark more often than not, and we were nearly punished towards the end of the first half, where Mansfield tried a cheeky little free kick, but once again our main man Colin thwarted it off, and we really should have taken the lead in the second half. A clear chance for David, but he misses it by quite a distance. Though it is first time from a tight angle, I expected it to be at least hitting the target, but thanks to all of that spurned chances, we are back with another 0-0 draw, and we are back in the second spot. Once again, we draw, and MK Dons get their win, and they go back to the top of the table, and we move on to the next game against Northampton Town. In this game, this is the big one. I know it's not considered a big one exactly because in terms of league positions we are way ahead of Northampton, but in terms of the scoreline, this is the big one for today, and I'm just going to be talking about other random things over the goals and the highlights. I'm going to just let you guys enjoy that separately, but really quickly, I've just ordered FIFA 22, and I hope it reaches soon. I love getting physical copies of games. I know digital versions are there, you can download it, but there's something about CDs, DVDs, physical copies. It's nice to have them with you. So I've ordered that. I hope it comes in soon. And as I said before, in terms of the new FIFA, I haven't been keeping up to date with the FIFAs after FIFA 19 because well, your boy's broke, so I didn't get the chance to play FIFA 20 or FIFA 21. So I'm going to be familiarizing myself with the new sort of settings, the new updates, and all the new stuffs they have introduced for us in the new FIFA games, especially like in terms of career mode. There's dynamic player potential, for example, and I've seen Docs and Jet HD posting up their new FIFA 22 career mode games, and there are pretty interesting stuff going on there. I haven't really seen any videos in regards to the Ultimate Team, so I'm not entirely sure how that's looking like, but on the other hand, the mechanics of the game itself is looking a lot different this year, as a couple of my friends who have already got the early access to the game have also said that the goalkeepers are extremely good. It's almost like you're playing prime David De Gea, prime Peter Schmeichel, and prime David Seaman all in one. That's how hard it is to beat the goalkeepers in this year's FIFA, apparently. And also, it's also relatively hard for the player to score a goal, apparently. Watching from Dox's recent uploads for his career mode in FIFA 22, it's relatively harder to score goals. So it's interesting. There are a lot of different things. Of course, there are a lot of different things and improvements coming from FIFA 19, which is rated as one of the worst FIFA games in recent times. But hopefully I get a hang of the game soon, and once that is sorted and familiarized, I will start putting up content, FIFA 22 content for you guys. So that's that. And coming back to the game, as you guys would see, Liam Price for his first goal of the save. A very well taken penalty. Probably might train his penalty taking skills up, and maybe, just maybe, he could be the answer to our future penalties as the penalty taker. But man of the match, of course, it goes to Hallam Hope for the first hat-trick in this Carlisle United save. And shortly after that, we receive an update on who we are facing in the fourth round of the FA Cup tie, and it is Rotherham United. And it's funny that we gone to Premier League to face against Burnley, and then we go back down to face Rotherham. But I'm not going to be taking that game easily, because we know what League 2 and League 1 sides are capable of in terms of cups. And that doesn't just apply in real life, but it also applies in the game as well. And as you would have seen, just now the game against Cheltenham, we once again draw 0-0, and we go back down to second place. And right after that game, we have the Rotherham game, and it's just baffling sometimes. Like, how have we gone from a 7-2 scoreline game, and then the next game we play almost the same players for ourselves, and we, draw the game. Very little chances created, and whatever chance we create, we couldn't finish. How do we go from a 7-2 thriller to a 0-0 draw right after that? I don't know. But coming back to the next game, which is against Rotherham for the 4th round of the FA Cup tie, the man, the legend, Colin, saving us once again. But I thought it was a little unfair that he got a 7.0 match rating, because he did a great job for us, keeping us in the tie as we go into a replay fixture against Rotherham in most probably the next episode. And for the final game of today's episode is the game against Port Vale away from home, hoping to get a win after back-to-back goalless draws in the league and also in the FA Cup. And I gotta be honest, the first half was dry, was really dry. There was nothing, absolutely nothing that showed to me that we could probably score in the second half. But surprisingly, we do take the lead in the second half through a wonderful header from Mike Jones, and shortly after that we have Hallam's Hope scoring once again, continuing his form from the hat-trick in the earlier game against Northampton, finishing it first time from a pretty close range, even though from a tight angle. Wonderful finish. And in about the 74th minute, we got a little lucky. We got a little lucky in terms of deflections, but it was a well-deserved finish in the end. 3-0 the scoreline, and a wonderful performance to finish off the 10th episode for this Carlisle United Career Mode save. It may sound small, it may sound little, but it is a big milestone. But it is a big milestone for myself, as I struggle to bring myself to do things more often than not, thanks to the recent pandemic and so on. But it's the tiny step that counts. But I would recommend you guys that if you feel like there's that you need a little helping hand to make yourself feel a little better, or to lift your spirits up a little, I would really recommend you guys to start a career mode save. You could play it each game, or you could sim through, but the feeling you get at the end of each season, whether you get promoted or you hit a certain goals that you set by yourself, or you win a cup, anything of that sort, it just lifts your spirit a little. And that's what I've been trying to do in recent months, and it's really helped me out. It really has helped me out. But coming back to our save, sorry for babbling on just there. We are at the end of the month. Yes, we're at the end of the month. Didn't really see the need to make any signings, or even let anyone out, as we get a number of bids towards the end of the transfer window, and it's so nice. It's so nice to reject bids for our players once again. It just feels so nice. No one's getting anyone out of this team, especially Liam Price. He's the prized possession of our team. But that's where we'll end today's episode, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the 7-game bumper episode. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.